It started with a push. It started with a challenge. It started with a fight back about being recognized, being allowed to just be who you are. And so Pride Month is all about like, yes, I'm here and I'm showing up and I'm showing out and I'm letting you know my history, the history of my people, and what we need to move forward. And even Happy Pride Month. Welcome. I was just saying that because it's Pride Month and I'm already a little bit extra, that I'm going to be super extra with the rainbows and the exclamation points and the hype in June because it's all about pride, right? So this month is Pride Month, which is based on the LGBTQIA, LMNOP community, all the community, um, being really intentional about being seen, right? Coming out, being known, like not being pushed to the back, that whole notion of like coming out of the closet, right? And like most movements, it started with a push. It started with a challenge. It started with a fight back about being recognized, being allowed to just be who you are. And so Pride Month is all about like, yes, I'm here and I'm showing up and I'm showing out and I'm letting you know my history, the history of my people, and what we need to move forward. And even though this is, Pride Month, especially around the LGBTQ community, I invite everyone, because you all know I'm all inclusive. I invite everyone to really take the energy of this month and show up and show out. It doesn't matter if you're LGBTQ, if you're here and you're seeing this, you fit the A ally at least. So this is your time. This is a time for you to say, what are some of the things that make me amazing from my history, things that I'm doing now in the world, and be really proud of that, right? Why can't we show up for ourselves? Why do we have to wait, right? Key here, we don't have to, but why are we waiting? Just making sure everybody, if I can see who's here, why are we waiting? Why are we making a point of not showing up? That's working. And showing out. So one of the cards, if you get my newsletter, you saw that the card for this week, and I'll switch so that you can see it, is the Sun card, right? And the Sun card is just beautiful, right? I mean, the whole idea, if you think about the sun, what does the sun do? It shines, right? It can't help but shine. There's no amount of other shit that's coming up that's keeping the sun from shining, right? I mean, there are times when we've got shit in our way, we've got clouds, so we can't see the sun shining, but the sun is still shining, right? We get that piece of it, right? The other thing is that, the world, our world, couldn't exist without the sun, right? We need the warmth of the sun in order to everything, warm the planet, make crops grow, all the things, right? So it's not, I want you to think about this in terms of, wait, let me move off of the sun. I'll come back to the sun card. But I want you to think about, the sun as you, right? And this idea of being prideful has historically kept a lot of people, especially female identifying folks, as far as pride goes, definitely, trans identifying folks, has kept us in the closet, if you will, right? Has kept us from being part of society in a way that feels really authentic, right? And showing your pride is about authenticity. It is about not being afraid to live your life the way that it's meant to be led, right? And I understand there's safety issues and in certain scenarios, but that's what we got to fight against. We've got to fight against all the systems that are keeping us from being authentic, right? So if you think about us as the sun, and us just beaming and glowing and being in our full authentic selves all the time, even when other people's shit is in the way, right? Other people's clouds, other people's drama is in the way. It doesn't matter if, as long as we're still shining, we're still doing what we're meant to do. We're still showing up authentically, right? And that to me is what Pride Month is all about, right? Now, I'll also say that as someone who identifies as a lesbian, I'm married to an amazing woman, and being able to talk about that and not feeling like, oh, I have to, you know, not mention her pronouns, or not talk about my relationship, right? That's something that has always been really important to me. I, many moons ago, was married. Before, I was married to a man, and it was never an issue. It was never even a thought that would cross my mind that I couldn't talk about him and his pronouns in relation to my relationship, right? So when it came time to then think about, marrying a woman, I mean, I certainly didn't have any concerns about it, but there were all of these questions. Every question that I would get from people was like, oh, well, where are you getting married? Right? Because we were married over 10 years ago now. So it wasn't legal most places, certainly not in the state that we lived in. And so that was the question, right? The focus was then, hey, Wanda, thank you. So that was the focus. The focus was like, oh, well, how are you going to make this happen? How are you going to show up, right? Something as simple as like having a wedding, right? It being legal, that was a question, right? So being able to show up and say, like, fuck that. Yes, I'm getting married. Yes, I'm going to tell the world that I'm getting married, and I don't have to hide it, is an important part of my life. And it's one of many things that I'm proud of. And so this month, I'm going to be doing something I don't normally do, because I don't necessarily love doing it. But I'm going to be putting a lot of information out there about me and all the shit that I'm proud of, because I've done some pretty amazing things in my lifetime, right? And I'm not ashamed to say it. And I'm going to be proud of sharing that with all of you. And I really hope that all of you can take some time as well to share what you're proud of this month, right? Yes, you can be proud of being, part of the LGBTQIA community. Awesome. What else? What else you got? Because that's not all that you are. There's so much more to you and to me and to all of us that we should be proud about all the time, right? So one of the things that I'm very excited about, and that you're going to be seeing a lot more of, is after this month, you'll actually see a little bit less of me here and more of me specifically over in my group, because I'm going to be offering some new, more, I don't want to say exclusive, but some more opportunities, some more intimate opportunities to work with me, right, for co-creation, because it's time that we start choosing ourselves, right? It's time that we not just show up, which is amazing. You absolutely have to show up for yourself, but what does that mean, right? We have to start talking about what does it mean to show up? Because you could just show up. I could just show up here and not do shit else, right? I could just come here every day and show up on camera and talk to you, which I love to do. But what am I doing? How am I putting myself first? How am I choosing myself, which is really the focus of what I do here with WTF with Mel, right? So I'm going to be offering more opportunities specifically to work with me on that kind of co-creation. And I actually like to call it my co-conspiracy. That word came up interestingly enough with a friend. And I just thought it was perfect, right? Because I do want to co-conspire on how to make amazing shit happen in your life, in your world, right? So I want to go back just quickly to this sun card. And, it's interesting in this particular deck. So every deck is a little bit different. But if you just look at this card, right, which again, the work that I do with people is about connecting to your intuition. It's less about what I see in the card, all about what you see in the card, right? So really take a moment to look at this. But if you look at this card of the sun in this particular deck, right, it's showing what looks to be like maybe a mom or this maternal figure with these two kids, right? And she's doing this she's creating this like amazing, textile, right? What looks like to be her own hair, right? Her own magic she's weaving together, creating something new. And you might, some people might look at this and be like, well, what's so spectacular about this woman sitting there with two kids out in the sun just working? But that's amazing, right? If that feels like what life is all about to her, being there with her children and working and creating something, then that's her showing up authentically, right? It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm a movie star, or I got this, 8-figure contract, or this new 7-figure launch of my new product. Being the sun, showing up authentically is about you showing up and doing what just makes you joyful, right? What just makes you happy, what she's creating for the world, right? Which in that snapshot is that little slice of life, right? Her, babies and that small community and just that growth and abundance, right? So, that would be the other piece to this. I'm moving back to just me. That would be the other piece I want you to think about when we talk about pride, when we talk about being authentic, that it has to be what brings you joy, right? You can show up to a job and you can be really great at a job and not like it very much, right? But you being authentic and showing up in the world as you, as what you're great at, as what you love to do, is a game changer, right? And so throughout this month, like I said, I'm going to be showing up and giving you little snippets of things that I'm really proud of, that I've accomplished, that I've done, things that I'm doing, right? That I'm really excited about, really, that feel good, that are affecting the world as I know it. And I really encourage you to find things that make you happy, right? Find ways to be joyful and spread rainbows. You're going to see a lot of freaking rainbows, I'm pretty sure, from me this month. But show up and show out, right? Speak up about how freaking amazing you are, right? How wonderful you are, what you've done in the world, what you're happy about. And it doesn't have to be, oh, I cured cancer, right? It can be, I spend joyful quality time with my kids, right? I create things with my own hands, right? I'm showing up every day for other people, right? It doesn't have to be anything more than that if that's what brings you joy, but do it authentically, right? Do it because you love it. So now that I said that, I'm going to just end with reminding you all, and I'll put it in, reminding you all that I started offering this really fun way, I think, to connect um, with me, get a little splash of what it is I do, some ways that you can work with me specifically one-on-one with intuitive tarot readings, is offering this 2-minute tarot. And there's the link is right there in the comments. You should see it. And it's just a really fun way for you to get a little glimpse into what it might be like to have a reading with me. So what it is you follow the link. It'll take you to a page. It explains it all. But essentially, you're going to ask me one question. I'm going to pull one card for you, and I'm going to send you a video that's about 2 minutes long, right? So it's just a little snapshot of what I see, and a little bit of a answer to your question. If you want to spend more time with me and you want to book some time, you absolutely can. If not, that's okay, right? It's not a requirement. It's just a really fun way to get a card pull, to connect with me, for me to connect with you just a little bit. And I'd love, love, love for you to take a chance, and it's totally free. So, like, why wouldn't you want to do it, right? So I'll leave it there today. You can still see my rainbow, yay. So think about how you're showing up, how you want to show up authentically if you're not doing so now, how I could help you to show up more authentically, right? And do it, right? Do it here, post it here, send it to me, put it in, my WTF with Mel Facebook group, put it here on this page, put it all over your page. Just show up for yourself, because you're freaking amazing. And we need more of you. Like, we need more sun. We need more of you all the time. So keep an eye out for all the super fun things that I'm going to tell you about with me. Make sure that you take time to grab a 2-minute tarot reading. I usually record them on Wednesdays, so I'll be recording some today for folks who've already sent them in to me. And, as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for just making the world a better place every day by just being you. All right. So I love you all. Stay magical.